If Satisfactory and Factorio have proved anything since their respective releases, it's that some people find the prospect of dozens of hours of automation and optimization endearing. It's me, I'm one of those people, despite mixed results. And lest you think the market isn't ripe for any competition, especially with how much time you could sink into these two titles alone, there have been notable entries like Dyson Sphere Program, Captain of Industry, and more recently, Shapes 2. So when CreepyJar announced StarRupture, I was equal parts intrigued and confused. A base-building game with automation where you explore a sci-fi planet miming resources and fighting off alien bugs? It almost felt like Factorio, but in first person, at least in terms of premise. After spending some time with the early access version, which launches on January 6th for PC, the appeal of StarRupture has become a whole lot clearer. There's a way to go yet, and definitely some improvements required in certain aspects, but it scratches that itch for one more unlock while pushing further and further across the planet. And what a place Arcadia 7 is! You play as one of 4 convicts who join the Argos program, which requires landing on the planet sans much equipment to mine its resources. And while the Claywood Corporation looms in the background, the focus at this point is to ship products for 5 different corporations: Selenian Corp, Clever Robotics, Moon Energy, Griffiths Blue Corp, and Future Health Solutions. Supply them with specific goods, be it titanium rods or wolfram wires, and you'll earn points towards their standing. Level those up enough, and you could redeem different rewards. Now, you could take your piddly mining laser and try to extract those resources by hand before refining, but automation is the name of the game. Setting up an ore extractor with rails to feed into a fabricator and a smelter is only the start. You also need to set up orbital launch devices to fulfill different orders, set up solar generators to feed power, collect resources to upgrade your base core, expand your habitat to make room for more stations, and fend off hunger and thirst. You know, the basic stuff. Before you know it, you'll be rerouting rails, installing junctions, optimizing supply chains, and looking for shortcuts to supply the corpos faster. While the various animations weren't quite as detailed as, say, Satisfactory, there's still something oddly hypnotic about sitting back and watching your machinery diligently hum away. Also, make no mistake, StarRupture offers a lot to unlock, even at this point in early access. Beyond producing more complex resources like ceramics, rotors, metal sheets, and whatnot, you'll also need to unlock recipes for them. These require heaps of resources and data points, which are also used to progress your standing with corporations, providing a nice boost towards the next unlock. However, some of these will also need blueprints, which must be found in the wild, and don't count on all of the requisite resources being near your starting point either. As such, setting up multiple bases becomes essential, and they'll especially come in handy when disaster inevitably strikes. You see, Arcadia 7 is the Ruptura system, and for some reason, the planet likes to go supernova every so often. That means a giant fiery wave roiling across the surface, incinerating anything and everyone in its wake, including me, as I unfortunately found out. Fortunately, you can always go back and collect your stuff on death, though some of it could end up broken. Multiple shelters thus become important in the early goings. It's more than an incredible sight. After a wave passes, your machinery overheats, but new materials and meteorites become available to harvest.
Prepare for impact. Extreme temperature detected.
This leads to another core aspect of StarRupture, the exploration. Venture far enough away from your base and you'll discover a geoscanner and a free pistol. Unlock your map, and this quickly becomes a way to scan the surroundings to provide more information on points of interest. It also serves as a mini-horde event of sorts, attracting alien bugs keen on tearing you to pieces. While they all die relatively the same, I was surprised at the variance that each had to offer. Whether it's the leapers that aggressively attack, the infection-carrying exploders, or the slag-shooting pests that preferred to hang back. It may be easy enough to handle a few initially, but once their numbers increase, you want to invest in some serious firepower, which requires collecting a completely separate currency. Even if the current state of POIs feels somewhat limited, Arcadia 7 has some pretty interesting locations to go with the mysterious radioactive monoliths, dead bodies, and drone wreckage. Despite being uninhabited, other similar crews came here before you. 2 guesses on what happened to them. Along the various data pads, you'll find voice recordings painting a grim picture of not just the planet, but how the corporate overlords chose to handle things. Unfortunately, it's offset by the other narrative elements of StarRupture, the cast. Remember how I said you play as one of 4 convicts? Well, the other 3 are still connected to you and will chime in occasionally. At times, it can be interesting for learning their backstories, but some interactions felt like they're missing something. Even without hearing from the others, my own character would mouth their own one-liners, which really got a bit repetitive. This may be a hit or miss for some players, and honestly, there's probably someone out there who is a fan of hearing their avatar say nom nom while eating food, but yeah, I'm not one of them. The voice acting isn't all that bad though, and some of the interactions with the AI assistant can be amusing. There are other gaps for StarRupture to fill, which should be addressed through subsequent updates, but I'm still quite impressed with just how much CreepyJar has managed to cram into early access. The automation aspects are complex enough to allow for extensive optimization, and that's before we even get into arming your bases with turrets. As you perform different actions, you'll level up combat, stamina, and survival, which allows for equipping LEMs to further customize your character with benefits like increased health, faster weapon swap speed, and so on. CreepyJar also has the right idea when it comes to the fundamentals. Despite some iffy rail connections, I experienced one bug, ironically, a bug floating in midair, and no performance hiccups, except for the occasional brief stuttering when saving. As always, your mileage and settings may vary, but even the production values are nothing to sneeze at, with some genuinely stunning sights and an odd yet fitting synth soundtrack. I'm not quite sure how StarRupture will ultimately measure up against either Satisfactory or Factorio in terms of pure automation in the long run, but that's the thing, it doesn't necessarily have to. As long as it can expand and improve on its own gameplay loop, where combat, exploration, and base building functions as one harmonious whole, then StarRupture could very well serve as a compelling third option. For now, if you're looking for a first-person automation title to fill the hole left by Satisfactory, it's worth checking out. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.